3. 3 at 3 every business day. I bring you unusual option activity. Those of you who are fans and have seen this play out, I'm sure you have enjoyed the ride. I hope you have. And as you're learning as we go, hopefully you're learning a few tricks of the trade to move the odds into your favor and so forth. And if you're somebody who needs a little bit of a helping hand understanding things, well, we're there for you. We've got education, we've got subscriptions over at Market Rebellion. So let's get started, shall we? The disclaimer is that all investments involve risk, and that past performance of a security is not a guarantee of future results going forward. You need to understand we are presenting this for informational and educational purposes only. Intellectual property rights, yes. What you are about to see is copyrighted, is trademarked, is patented, and is adorned with registered marks where necessary. Before you use any of it, please ask us and then cite Market Rebellion. Thank you. Unusual option activity, yeah, UOA. Let's get to it. Well, yesterday we told you about space, the final frontier, which is, of course, Virgin Galactic. It's got one of the best symbols out there, though, SPCE. And bullish call buying with the stock just under $26 a share. They were buying the end of January, the 29th of January, 32 calls. So we followed right along with them. But I didn't buy the 32 calls, as I told you yesterday. I like moving the odds into my favor, buying something closer to the money. How'd the stock do? Well, you tell me. There it was yesterday beneath 26. Here it is today. It's been pushing to and almost through 28. Bang. That's what we're talking about, folks. That's how you make some money in the markets. And again, by me moving the odds into my favor by trading lower strikes instead of a 32 strike, I'm not asking the market to be as accommodating. I'm not saying, boy, we better get an explosive move or I'm screwed. I only have 2 weeks for this to work. No, I can be a little more hands-off with the trade because I'm trading something that was at the money, now in the money, pretty good, and selling another option against it. That is the trade-off, doing that one-to-one. But you have to decide the risks that are appropriate for you. How about Momo? How about Momo? We talked about it yesterday when Momo, Chinese stock, was basically $15 a share. Today, it has moved up substantially yet again. And where is it? They were buying January 1450 calls, short term. Where'd it go today? Oh, only to 16. Actually went through 1650 early on. And that, my friends, is when I took profits. Some people out there might be thinking to themselves, well, John, why are you taking profits so quickly? Well, because these options went deep in the money. These options expire on Friday. So, as it is Wednesday, I'm not going to wait around till the 15th to take some profits, folks. If I get profits, I'm going to take some, which I have done, which I would always say is a prudent way that all of us should trade. You have to decide if it's appropriate for you to trade as aggressively as I trade, but nonetheless, that's what I did. If you'd like to learn about trading aggressively, about mitigating time decay, which most of your friends, if you're new to options, have told you, oh my God, that's what kills you is time decay. They are not wrong. Time decay can kill, but you can mitigate it to the best of your abilities and mine by selling an option for every option that I buy. That one-to-one call spread is what I do nearly all the time. Sometimes if it's a cheap enough shot, I just buy the option, and if it rallies, then I sell another option against it at a later time. But a lot of what I do is one-to-one bull call spreads because it just moves the odds further into our favor. If you'd like to learn more about doing that with crypto, with stocks, options, futures, come on over to marketrebellion.com/get started. And now, let's get started with today's 3 at 3. Number one, there's my brother Pete, was just on the phone with him. He's going to be hosting a very cool webinar in under an hour from now that you could join, and I would encourage you to join. He was talking about FuelCell Energy, FCEL, a stock that we talked about just a couple weeks back, December 23rd, I think it was, when it was under 13 bucks. Now it's pushing to 19 bucks. Bang, love that. And they're buying, look at that. Yesterday they bought 20,000. Today they did another 17,000 calls. January, 19 calls. There is the stock still holding over 19 at about 19.16 per share. So be aware that since we're talking about January options, you don't have a lot of time in these. So make sure you're aware of time decay as well as volatility compression. Both of those could hurt you. And as you see, there's Pete, MarketRebellion.com co-founder. Here is a company that Pete and I are very proud to say we were smart enough, lucky enough to invest in Voyager as a publicly traded company. Now, that's not investment advice from me. I do own a substantial piece of this company. So does my brother Pete. And so do a number of folks at Market Rebellion, because we saw the march into digital assets. And look at this. They have 50 plus digital assets that you can trade on this platform. So it's not just Bitcoin, folks. And for some of those assets, they will pay you, as you see on the screen, interest as high as 9.5% APR. So why not consider Voyager for your trading of digital assets? There's no commission. You don't have to worry about that. It is indeed crypto made simple. Voyager is a publicly traded company up in Canada. It also has an over-the-counter arm that trades here in the US. So you can see it and trade it over the venture exchange up in Canada or here. And I believe that they are talking about getting listed on the main NASDAQ here in the United States. Voyager, love it. Here's my brother Pete talking about Freeport-McMoRan, FCX. Now, a lot of you know that we have talked about this one incessantly as a reopening play, as a rebuilding play, as an infrastructure play, and look at how that stock has done. From April of last year, when it was $6 a share, to now $30.86 when Pete was on air today. The one-year return, 128%. This one is indeed an outperformer and a fabulous run for Freeport-McMoRan. Pete was talking about this. 10,000 of the March 35 calls were purchased for about $152 a piece to $158 a piece. Some of you are thinking to yourselves, why is he talking about $150? Because every option is for 100 shares of stock. So $1.52 means we have to move that decimal point 2 places to the right, which makes it $152 each. They were taking profits on the March 30 calls that they already owned and rolling up to the March 35s. That is the action I love to see, because I'm betting on a horse that's already won several times. This particular trader buying 1 million share equivalent, that's 10,000 shares, of these March 35s, was taking that 1 million share equivalent that they did in the March 30s off the table, $3.50, that's $350 a piece, and only putting $1.50 of that back into the markets. They pulled $200 off of every contract, and then they said, you know what, I think there's more upside. I'm sticking with this one, and I love following a winning jockey and a horse that has won before. There is the stock as Freeport-McMoRan, or FCX, hangs in there at about $30.95 just moments ago. This is what I was talking about with my brother Pete just before we came on air. Pete and AJ Monty, just a phenomenal chartist, CMT, Chartered Market Technician. He is going to be joining Pete for 30 stocks in 60 minutes. So in other words, 2 stocks, when he hits a stock, he's going to detail why that stock is going to work, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. AJ and Pete going at it from 4 p.m. Eastern Time, which is just over, 45 minutes from right now. It's at 4 o'clock Eastern. Right now we're at 2:15 Eastern Time, 3:15 Eastern, 2:15 Central, where I am. And you can join. All you got to do is go to Market Rebellion and sign up. That is marketrebellion.com. Sign up. You'll love it. You will be fascinated by the way AJ Monty, a real market technician, breaks down the stocks and the moves they're about to make. Tune in for that. 4 p.m. Eastern Time, about 45 minutes from right now. Let's get to the third of our 3 at 3, shall we? That is Uber. Look at Uber. Bullish call buying. Stock has run all the way to about $59 a share, and they're buying the 29th of January expiration, 65 calls, so $5 out of the money. You're a regular viewer, you know I'm going to be buying the 60s, selling those 65s. Why? Because that way I move the odds into my favor. So if you buy the 65s, doesn't mean you're going to be wrong. Could mean that you're going to make a lot more money than me. Congratulations. I like swinging for singles and doubles rather than swinging for home runs. Occasionally I do that swing for a home run, but I like this and moving with the odds in my favor. You should want to do the same as often as you can, but if you choose to just buy those calls, that's what the big money was buying, then feel free to follow right along with them. There's Uber as it moves up by almost $1 from when we first cited it, because we cited it at $58.98. It's up 68 cents over the 59 strike right now. So you know that it's, 70 cents higher than when we first talked about it. Bang. That's why you want to subscribe too. Let's get to 3 at 3. Oh, 3 at 3, you can send your questions into me, Jon Najarian. That's at Jon Najarian, or at the number 3 _UOA for all our friends out there listening to us on satellite radio. Ren Brewster, VW Audi Porsche is his handle. And Ren says, I was not quite fast enough and strong enough to make an NFL roster like you and Pete. So I became an Army paratrooper instead. Thank you, Ren, for your service. Thank all of you men and women for your service to our country. In many cases, I'm sure you're faster, stronger, smarter, whatever, than Pete and I. We did what we did because we loved playing football. I was lucky enough to play it all the way through college, as was Pete. I had 4 games in the pros. Pete had almost 6 years in the pros. But that's not the same as serving this great country. So we applaud you, Ren, for doing that. And we thank you for being so humble as to say, I wasn't fast enough or strong enough. Yeah, you were. I think you were both. Anyway, thank you very much, Ren, for that support. All right, let's do Paul D. Cardy, which is at PAUL _ CLARDY, Clardy. Paul D. Clardy. And he says, I do believe Jack's better come out of the cold beard showing white. And he's, I guess, referring to Jack Dorsey, the founder of Twitter. And Jack's beard, it's getting a little more gray in it, or white, sort of like my beard right here. But Jack wears his a little longer. I couldn't deal with that. It just made me feel too sloppy when mine was long. So I keep it trimmed up a little. Maybe I should trim it even more. But Jack, I think he was feeling some heat this week. But I don't think Jack cares about short-term market fluctuations of his stock. I think Angela Merkel and Mr. Macron reaching out to Twitter and Facebook and criticizing them for being so draconian with the measures they put against the president, the sitting president of the United States. I think they understand that is a slippery slope that Jack and Mark Zuckerberg are on right now, given that they're censoring people in this way. But so, Paul, I thank you for your submission, and I hope that I get to see you again. GME, hey, how about this one? Twin Peaks Coffee, that's her handle, at Twin Peaks, plural, Coffee, C-O-F-F-E-E. This is why I never miss an episode of 3 at 3 underscore UOA, even though I'm a subscriber. The call flow is the best there is. At Jon Najarian, at Pete Najarian, at Market Rebels. Thank you, Twin Peaks. She is a frequent tweeter to us. We appreciate you. We also love the GME popped by over $15 today. I mean, I think that was 70% or something like that. Bang! That's what I'm talking about. We cited that unusual activity, I want to say December 23rd. They had that blowout and that jump today. So thank you, Twin Peaks. Thank you to the trading gods for that trade. We truly appreciate it. And as always, we're humbled by your support, everybody. If you want to find out more about what we do over at Market Rebellion, please go over to marketrebellion.com/UOA. That's marketrebellion.com/UOA. If you feel like joining Pete and AJ tonight, please do, but you got to sign up ahead of time. Sign up at marketrebellion.com. And if you would like to join our YouTube channel, it is free. I would encourage you to go to youtube.com. On the search bar on YouTube, type in Market Rebellion and hit subscribe. We appreciate it. We appreciate all of you, and I thank you for joining me here today. Have a great